Before anything existed, there was only Nun, the primordial ocean, a vast and infinite sea of darkness and silence, where there was no form, no light, no sound. Nun was the essence of chaos, an aquatic abyss stretching endlessly in all directions, without beginning or end. Its waters were dense and mysterious, charged with the potential of all creation. Within them floated invisible seeds of life, waiting for the right moment to awaken. There was no time in Nun, only a motionless eternity, where past, present, and future merged into a single endless moment. Occasionally, gentle, almost imperceptible waves rippled across the dark surface, as if the ocean itself were dreaming. These ripples were the first signs of movement, the first whispers of something that did not yet exist but yearned to be born. In the depths of Nun, there was a latent energy, a primordial force pulsating silently. It was as if the ocean held unimaginable secrets, mysteries not even the gods could comprehend. There, in the dark, watery womb of Nun, rested the potential for all that would come to be. The gods, humans, stars, rivers, mountains, and even time itself. Nun was not just a place of darkness but also of infinite possibilities. It was the womb of the universe, the space where creation could emerge but had not yet been shaped. It was a void filled with promise, a silence echoing with the unheard music of existence. And then, from the primordial waters emerged Atum, the first god. He arose as a soft light, breaking through the darkness of Nun. With his presence, chaos began to transform into order, and the seeds of life dormant in the ocean began to awaken. When Atum emerged from the primordial waters of Nun, he found himself alone in an empty and silent universe. Around him, there was only the infinite darkness of the primordial ocean, without form, without sound, without life. Atum was the only consciousness in a sea of chaos, and this solitude was profound and unsettling. He looked in all directions, but there was nothing to see, nothing to touch, nothing to hear. The stillness was absolute, and the silence seemed to echo within him. Atum felt the weight of eternity on his shoulders, a sense of emptiness beyond comprehension. He was the first, the only one, and this responsibility consumed him. But amid the solitude, Atum felt something else, a spark of desire, a will to fill the void. He gazed into the dark waters of Nun and realized that, though chaotic, they were full of potential. There, in the depths of the primordial ocean, lay invisible seeds of life, waiting to awaken. It was then that Atum decided to act. He knew he could not remain alone forever. With a single thought, he imagined a hill emerging from the waters, a solid place where life could begin. And so, Benben, the first hill, rose from the waters of Nun, bringing with it the promise of a new beginning. Atum felt a wave of relief as he saw the hill, but his loneliness had not yet vanished. He knew he needed to create companionship, something to fill the void around him. With determination, he used his own essence to give life to two gods: Shu, the god of air, and Tefnut, the goddess of moisture. Shu and Tefnut were more than mere creations. They were extensions of Atum, parts of himself that he had separated to fill the universe. As he watched them breathe and move, Atum felt a joy he had never known before. He was no longer alone. Shu was the personification of air, the invisible force that filled the space between sky and earth. He was the breath of life, the element that allowed all beings to breathe and exist. Without Shu, the world would be a suffocating, static place where nothing could move or grow. Shu also represented order and separation. It was he who stood between Geb, the earth, and Nut, the sky, keeping them apart and creating the space where life could flourish. Without Shu, the sky and earth would remain united, and the universe would be a place of chaos and darkness. Symbolically, Shu was often depicted as a man holding the sky above the earth, showcasing his strength and importance in maintaining cosmic order. He was the balance between chaos and creation, the force that allowed the universe to breathe and expand. Tefnut was the personification of moisture, the essential element for life. She represented the waters that nourished the earth, the rain that fell from the sky, and the dew that refreshed the plants. Without Tefnut, the world would be an arid desert where nothing could grow or thrive. Tefnut was also associated with fertility and regeneration. She was the force that allowed seeds to sprout, rivers to flow, and life to renew itself with each cycle. In many myths, Tefnut was seen as a maternal goddess, nurturing and sustaining all forms of life. Together with Shu, Tefnut formed a complementary pair. While Shu represented air and space, Tefnut represented moisture and fertility. Together, they created the perfect conditions for existence, balancing the essential elements that allowed life to emerge and thrive. Nut, the goddess of the sky, was a majestic and celestial figure. Her arched body covered the world like a mantle of stars, stretching from horizon to horizon. Each night, she bent over the earth, enveloping it in her infinite beauty. Her body was adorned with thousands of shimmering stars, which sparkled like diamonds scattered across a dark fabric. These stars were not just lights in the sky. They were the eyes of Nut, watching over the world below with care and protection. In their constant motion, the stars formed constellations that told stories of gods, heroes, and mythical creatures. Nut was more than a starry sky. She was the very space where the sun, moon, and planets traveled. During the day, she swallowed the sun, Ra, and carried him on his journey through the underworld so he could be reborn at dawn. At night, she filled herself with stars, creating a spectacle of lights that enchanted all who gazed upward. Nut's beauty was so grand that even the gods marveled at her. Her arched body was a symbol of protection and shelter, a celestial roof guarding the world below. When people looked at the night sky, they felt Nut's presence, a goddess who enveloped them in her cosmic embrace. Geb, the earth, was the perfect complement to Nut. While she covered the world with her starry sky, he sustained life with his abundant fertility. Geb was depicted as a man lying down, his body forming the mountains, valleys, and plains that made up the earth. His skin was rich and dark, like the fertile soil along the Nile. From this soil sprouted plants, trees, and flowers, nourished by Tefnut's moisture and Shu's air. Geb was the provider, the one who nurtured all forms of life with his infinite generosity. The rivers that flowed over Geb were like veins, carrying water and nutrients to every corner of the earth. Crops grew in abundance, and animals found food and shelter in his soil. Geb was more than the earth. He was the home of all living beings, a god who sustained and protected. In his connection with Nut, Geb formed a divine couple that represented the union of sky and earth. While Nut covered the world with her stars, Geb sustained it with his fertility. Together, they created a perfect balance where life could flourish in harmony. The relationship between Nut and Geb was so profound that, in the beginning, they were intertwined, unable to separate. It was Shu, the god of air, who stood between them, creating the space where life could exist. Even separated, Nut and Geb remained connected, mirroring each other in their beauty and importance. At night, Nut bent over Geb, enveloping him in her mantle of stars. During the day, Geb sustained the life that sprang from his soil, while Nut watched from above, proud of her beloved. Together, they were the essence of the universe, the sky and earth that gave meaning to existence. Atum's loneliness had transformed into purpose. He was no longer a solitary god but a creator, a father to all gods and to the universe itself. And as he rested after his work, he felt a deep peace, knowing he had fulfilled his destiny. And so, from the primordial chaos, order was born. From silence, life emerged. And from darkness, light arose. Atum, Nut, Geb, Shu, and Tefnut remind us that even in the void, there is potential. That even in solitude, there is connection. And that, in the balance between sky and earth, air and water, chaos and creation, we find the meaning of all that exists. The universe is an eternal dance, and each of us is part of this story. Just as Nut's stars light up the sky, your presence here lights up our journey. Thank you for being part of this story, for sharing with us the magic of creation and the balance of the universe. If you connected with this narrative, don't forget to leave a like, share it with fellow cosmic explorers, and subscribe for more journeys into the unknown. Until next time, wherever the stars may take us.